And good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this very exciting segment today. And right here on Australian Indian Radio, 27th of March 2023. And it's a beautiful day once again right here in Brisbane, 25 degrees and sunny. And it is just looking amazing. And it's wonderful to hope you had a wonderful weekend. Well, it's been a big weekend. There have been so many functions and events taking place. Unfortunately, we can't go to all. We get lots of invites, but the ones that we can make it to, we try, and we make it to the ones that fit in with the timings. And of course, many times it means that, we sometimes miss some of the ones. Apologies, we can't be everywhere. But thank you very much for all those invites, and please do keep sending your reports in. We'd like to put you in to the upcoming Brisbane Indian Times. Well, talking about Brisbane Indian Times this month, April 1, because 1st of April is a Saturday. So what that means is that, we'll be early, meaning because our publication goes to press or is released every second Saturday of every month. So sometimes, Saturday comes in the tail end, so you few days in before you get to the first and second Saturday. So this time, the first, April 1st, and this is not April Fool's, falls on a Saturday. Well, anyway, that's what it would like to be. Well, right now, congratulations to Labor for that win in New South Wales. Here's a look at that.
An election win welcomed over the border. Victoria's Premier is pleased to have another Labor ally in state government.
They've worked so hard to lay out a positive plan, and the people of New South Wales have given them the greatest of gifts.
Mainland Australia is now a sea of red.
If they act as something of a lobby group to exert pressure on the Albanese government and to lever the rest of National Cabinet to those sorts of decisions favourable to the most populous states, that may well be the case.
But strengthening relationships further abroad was the Premier's main focus today. Daniel Andrews has revealed he'll embark on a 4-day trip to China from tomorrow as his government seeks to rebuild the multi-billion-dollar international education sector after the pandemic. The Premier is hoping back-to-back meetings with Chinese government officials will lure another 10,000 students to the state.
For me as an international student, I really enjoy the environment here.
People here are so friendly to me and very inclusive.
But the trip
Dolby AC3 audio.
Ventures being left behind.
It does strike me as odd that the Trade Minister's not going to this trip. We would encourage that.
This is not a very picture-friendly, there's no big events, we're not doing tours, it's back-to-back meetings, and there'll be lots of those.
He's the first leader to visit China since Beijing condemned the multi-billion-dollar AUKUS submarine deal earlier this month. But the Premier insists the visit has federal support.
Premier Andrews is able to gain deepen further trade ties with China. That's in everyone's interest.
But the Premier says that won't include a revival of the scrapped Belt and Road Agreement with China. Jesse Thompson, ABC News.
Well, as I said, once again, congratulations to Labor in New South Wales. And after 12 years, well, it is many times people do want a change. So, well, it will be, interesting to see how things turn out over the period, over the term. But right now, for another look at discrimination and the rental situation.
Imanina Shasha Binti Muhammad Tani expresses herself through art, but expressing her identity through her name can be more of a challenge.
Somehow my name is an issue, and I didn't ever think it had to be.
The 19-year-old goes by Shasha day to day and hadn't ever experienced name discrimination before moving to Australia 2 years ago.
When looking for rentals and stuff like that, and your name's Muhammad, people have prejudice against you.
Some official documents have required all possible combinations of her 5 names, while others only have enough space for 3.
A lot of my friends' names as well, they have really unique names and everything, but everybody just tends to anglicize it nowadays because it's just so much easier.
It seems like people are making a choice, but actually we are asking people to fit in.
The Race Discrimination Commissioner says name discrimination is a serious problem in Australia at a social and systemic level.
Proving name discrimination as a form of racial discrimination is always can be difficult, but in itself, name discrimination is unlawful.
It starts in the school. You try to apply for a job and your name reaches before your application can even be assessed. It applies in the rental market.
It's hard to know just how widespread the problem is because there's very little consistent data. As part of its new National Anti-Racism Framework, the Australian Human Rights Commission is looking at ways to improve reporting about all types of racial discrimination in Australia. It's also looking at how to change community attitudes.
Because a name reflects who you are. It's a sum total of you as a person. And it is never acceptable in a society where people have to change the names or in any way modified so they can fit in.
I think it's more of just be kind. Just, you know, if I say my name once, Shasha, and you're just like, oh my God, I have no idea what she just said. You know, just ask. I literally have a bracelet spelling it out.
A small request with big impact.
Small request with big impact is the right way to go. Well, right now, the other sector that we looked at, and we reported on this a while back as well, was the public trustee. And a lot of people have put a lot of faith and trust into the public trust system. But is it okay? Is it broken?
His furniture has been sold and his house is empty. But this man, who we'll call Dan, wants to live here again with a carer to help him.
I desperately want to be in my own home. I get my wife taken away from me very unfairly.
Last year, a state tribunal found the man lacks capacity to make decisions because of dementia. It appointed the public advocate and public trustee of WA to take over decisions about his accommodation and his finances. He was ordered to live in a nursing home against his will and is now paying more than $75,000 a year in fees.
The reality is we have 50,000 Australians right now who are under these systems.
WA Green Senator Jordan Steele-John says the gag laws which stop people speaking out must be overturned.
We're dealing fundamentally with the question of whether a human being should have their voice heard and their rights respected.
In the case of Dan, the public trustee says he can't live back at his home because he can't afford a full-time carer. He's asked many times to see what his financial situation is, but says he's been refused all information.
WA's Auditor General released a scathing report last year which found the public trustee doesn't tell people in its care how their money is being handled.
The public trustee is one of the least scrutinised state entities in the state.
The report also found people with assets are charged higher fees by the self-funded public trustee, and in some cases overcharged.
The public trustee is sometimes raising fees that appeared too high for the level of work effort that was being done.
The Attorney-General John Quigley says Treasury is investigating whether the public trustee should get some government funding. For Dan, he just wants to overturn the state orders and return to his home.
I can't believe it. I live in a free country of Australia and I'm treated like I'm living in Russia or something.
Anne Conley, ABC News.
Well, there you go. When you sign up with these programs, it is unfortunate in many circumstances, and we have seen that being reported before, as per that report that many people have gone through the system, and they're paying huge amounts of money to stay in those kind of homes. All he wanted was to be in his own house, but he does need care. So, carers, if he can stay in his own house with the assistance of a carer, why not? Why can't that be? Well, ladies and gentlemen, right now it's time to go to our daily India report.
Welcome to the Daily India Report, which brings you reports, interviews, features and more on India and the Indian diaspora. The Gujarat court has sentenced senior Congress leader Rahul Gandhi to 2 years of imprisonment in a criminal defamation case. Indian National Congress leader Rahul Gandhi has been sentenced to 2 years in prison in a criminal defamation case. The Congress member of Indian Parliament was convicted by the court in Gujarat state for 2019 comments about Prime Minister Narendra Modi's surname at an election rally. Rahul Gandhi, who was present in court for sentencing, remains out of jail on bail for 30 days and will appeal. Congress said he was being targeted for exposing the government's dark deeds as general elections are due in 2024. A Congress spokesman said the ruling was full of legally unsustainable conclusions and vowed that party leaders would not be silenced. Abhishek Manu Singhvi said, quote, "Make no mistake. All your attempts to create a chilling effect, a throttling effect, a strangulating effect on open, fearless speech relating to public influence will not stop either Rahul Gandhi or the Congress party," end quote. The ruling Bharatiya Janata Party said due judicial process has been followed in the case, which dates back to the campaign ahead of the last election. Speaking at the rally in Karnataka state in April 2019, Gandhi had said, quote, "Why do all these thieves have Modi as their surname? Nirav Modi, Lalit Modi, Narendra Modi," end quote. Nirav Modi is a fugitive Indian diamond tycoon, while Lalit Modi is a former chief of the Indian Premier League, who has been banned for the life by the country's cricket board. Rahul Gandhi argues that he made the comment to highlight corruption, and it was not directed against any community. The Lok Sabha on March 23rd passed the demands for grants for budget 2023 to 24 and the appropriation bill without any discussion as opposition members demanded a joint parliamentary committee on the Adani issue. Indian Parliament's lower house, the Lok Sabha on March 23rd passed the demands for grants for budget 2023 to 24 and the appropriation bill by a voice vote without any discussion. The business of the house was conducted amid a din, with opposition members shouting slogans of Modi Adani Bhai Bhai and demanding a JPC on the Adani issue. The afternoon session of the Lok Sabha was adjourned within 5 minutes with the announcement that the demands for grants would be taken up for passage at 6 p.m. As the House resumed proceedings at 6 p.m., Speaker Om Birla first took up various cut motions moved by members to the demands for grants and put them to vote together. They were all disallowed by a voice vote. The Speaker then read out the department-wise submissions for outstanding demands for grants in respect of budget 2023 to 24 and put them to vote one by one. Opposition members meanwhile stormed the well of the House shouting slogans on the Adani issue. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh and several key ministers of the Modi cabinet were present in the House at the time. Ahead of the 2024 Lok Sabha elections, the ruling Bharatiya Janata Party President JP Nadda has appointed new chiefs to BJP's Delhi, Bihar and Rajasthan state units on March 23rd. Bharatiya Janata Party has appointed new chiefs to its Delhi, Bihar and Rajasthan state units on March 23rd, ahead of the 2024 Lok Sabha elections. Delhi BJP Working President Virendra Sachdeva was appointed as its state unit president and Lok Sabha MP CP Joshi was appointed as the new Rajasthan BJP chief. For Bihar, Samrat Chaudhary, the leader of the opposition in the Bihar Legislative Council, was made the new state chief, replacing Sanjay Jaiswal. In Rajasthan, CP Joshi will replace Satish Punia, who is the MLA from Jaipur's Amber constituency. Manmohan Samal, a former state minister, has also been appointed as the BJP's Odisha unit president. The appointments were made by the BJP National President JP Nadda. The Indian Meteorological Department has issued a yellow alert for the national capital Delhi, with a forecast of light showers accompanied with gusty winds. The Met Department has issued a yellow alert and forecast light showers in the national capital on March 24th, with gusty winds during the day. This is likely to bring the mercury down by 2-3 degrees again in most parts of the city. IMD officials said that while there are chances of some places in Delhi recording drizzle, with chances of light rainfall being recorded at most locations, accompanied by gusty winds in some places. Delhi NCR is under the influence of a fresh western disturbance from March 23rd, which is likely to retreat only from March 25th. The IMD forecast shows a maximum of 28 degrees Celsius is expected during the day, while the minimum temperature will stay around 16 degrees Celsius on March 24th. In the good news for Indians travelling to the US Citizenship and Immigration Services will soon allow individuals travelling to the country on a tourist or business visa to apply for new jobs. In a welcome move, the United States will allow individuals travelling to the country on a tourist or business visa to apply for new jobs and even give interviews. The US Citizenship and Immigration Services, in a series of tweets, said, "Many people have asked if they can look for a new job while in B1 or B2 status. The answer is yes. Searching for employment and interviewing for a position are permissible B1 or B2 activities. When non-immigrant workers are laid off, they can take various actions to remain in the country legally. These include filling an application for a change of non-immigrant status, filling an application for adjustment of status, filling an application for a compelling circumstances employment authorization document, or be the beneficiary of a non-frivolous petition to change employer." The US federal agencies said the maximum 60-day grace period to leave the country starts the day after termination of employment, which is typically determined based on the last day for which a salary or a wage is paid. The Indian equity market seesawed in morning trade on March 24th. Markets opened in green, but soon the BSE Sensex plunged by more than 174 points, while the NSE Nifty 50 dropped 55 points. Indian domestic equities opened higher on March 24th, tracking global market cues. BSE Sensex opened 89.61 points, 0.15% higher at 58,014.89. While NSE's Nifty 50 climbed 29.60 points or 0.17% to open at 17,106.50. However, soon after opening, Sensex plunged 174.48 points or 0.30% to 57,750.80, while Nifty 50 tanked 55.40 points or 0.32% to trade near 17,020 levels. Broader markets were mixed at open as Nifty Microcap 250 jumped 0.21%, while Nifty Next 50 climbed 0.17% and Nifty Small Cap 50 rose 0.13%. Nifty Midcap 50 tanked 0.14%, followed by Nifty Midcap Select at 0.13%. IT stocks were the top gainers at open, as the sector jumped 1.50%, while PSBs gained 0.23%. Most other sectors were trading in red at open. Following the release of a short teaser and some peppy numbers, Bollywood studio T-Series has released the trailer of Aditya Roy Kapoor starrer film Gumraah.
पूरा एक दिन बीत गया, तुम लोग एक टुकड़ा एविडेंस नहीं ला पाए। डीएनए रिपोर्ट, फॉरेंसिक रिपोर्ट कहाँ है?
ये 2 सैंपल 2 अलग लोगों के क्या?
Gumraah is an intriguing suspense drama featuring 2 look-alike suspects who are interrogated by the police after the murder of a young man. The trailer shows that the police think they are presented with a clear-cut case once they have a photo of their murder suspect. However, they are in for the rude surprise and their case falls apart when they discover 2 identical men as their suspects. As they try to figure out the mystery, the film also takes us into the lives of the suspects. Is it revenge or cold-blooded murder?
ऐसा कोई क्रिमिनल नहीं बना जो पीछे सबूत न छोड़े।
सर, एक लीड मिली है।
अरे तुम सेकंड उठा के लाओ। बुधवार 2 तारीख की रात को 12 बजे कहाँ था तू? ऑफिस में। तो तू आकाश सरदाना के घर की बालकनी पर क्या कर रहा था?
Aditya Roy Kapoor plays a double role for the first time in his career. while Mrunal Thakur and Ronit Bose play the police officers who are hot on trails of the two suspects. The Gumrah trailer hints at a possibility of retribution for one or the other. Mrunal Thakur shared the trailer of the film on Instagram and wrote, "There are two sides to every story, truth and lies, but in the story there is a crime and one who is lost."
ये चोट कैसे लगी?
कंस्ट्रक्शन साइट पे सरिया लग गया।
मुझे पता है मर्डर तूने ही किया। कुछ कहना अपने सफाई में?
इंसान हूँ मैडम, डिटर्जेंट नहीं।
The suspense drama is said to be inspired by true events. Gumrah is produced by Bhushan Kumar's T-Series and Murad Khetani's Cine One Studios. It is a Hindi remake of the 2019 Tamil hit Thadam with Arun Vijay and Vidya Pradeep. The thriller will be released in theatres on April 7, 2023. In breaking news today, equity indices Sensex and Nifty buckled under selling pressure for the second straight session to settle nearly 1% lower on March 24th amid a bearish trend in Asian and European markets. BSE Sensex declined 398.18 points or 0.69% to finish at 57,527.10. During the day, it had gone lower by 502.3 points or 0.86% to 57,422.98. That's all for this bulletin of the Daily India Report.
And thank you very much, Simran, for that report. And once again, everyone, wonderful to have you back on this Monday. Well, right now, let's take a look at some of the functions and events taking place. Very much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us today, and that's about all we have time for you in this segment. As usual, it's been a very, very busy weekend, and it's good to catch us back. We will try and bring you some reports and some clips of some of the functions and events over the weekend. And we must say congratulations to Swina Thal from the Let's Bollywood and their annual concert of Let's Party last night. A complete full house and amazing show that they had, and thank you so much for having us over as chief guest for the event as well. Well, ladies and gentlemen, right now it's time to say goodbye until tomorrow.